I've seen hundreds of DET speaking tasks, and there are 6 topics which appear again and again and again. Want to know what they are? Well, you're in the right place. Hello, I'm Francis from Last Minute English. When I was creating my complete DET preparation course, I read more DET speaking questions than I can count. I literally lost count of how many I'd read. And something that I learned in that time is that there are these 6 very common topics that, if you prepare for them, will give you a big advantage when you take the Duolingo English Test. So in today's video, we're going to look at each of those topics and we'll learn some specific vocabulary for each topic so that if that topic comes in your DET, you'll be able to drop those nice words in and boost your score. So there are 4 main speaking questions in the Duolingo English Test. The first one is speak about the photo. So you see a photo, you have 20 seconds to think about it, and you speak for 90 seconds. We also have read, then speak, where you get a question, you can read it. Again, 20 seconds to prepare, 90 seconds to speak. You have your speaking sample, that's towards the end, that's a very big question. You have 30 seconds to plan, and then 3 minutes to speak. And as I'm recording this, a new question type is coming out, that is the interactive speaking. Now we actually have guides for all of those different question types, so make sure you check out the links under the video if you want to practice any of them or find out the best way to answer any of those questions. But for now, we're going to move on to the first of our 6 common topics. So the first topic is education, and this is education in quite a general way. So this could be like studying in university, but it could also be things like learning a new skill. So let's take a look at an example question that talks about education. So this is a speaking sample question. It says, some say that too many young people are going to university nowadays. They argue that university doesn't suit everyone and can put students into debt. To what extent do you agree with this point of view? And include details and examples in your response. So that is part of this topic of education because it's about, is it a good idea to study at university? Now that's one example question, but I can promise you that there are maybe like 50 or 100 different questions that you could be asked about the topic of education. So what we're going to do for this topic and the other 5 topics as well is to learn some kind of more general education words that, regardless of what question actually comes up, you'll be able to drop these words into your answer. So let's go through. We've got 5 here. So the first one is curriculum. Curriculum, and that's like the plan of all of the things that you'll study in one class or in maybe in 1 year or in your whole time at school or university. The second word is pedagogy. Pedagogy, and that's the teaching strategies, the way that a teacher or a professor will educate you. Word 3 is a really hard word, a long word, matriculation. Matriculation, and that's the process of registering for like a school or an institution like a university. Then the next word is cohort. So a cohort is a group of students who will go through a course together, and the idea is that they all start at the same time. And finally, scholarship. So scholarship is a type of financial aid, financial assistance, some money that students can get if they are like good students, high-level students, to help them pay for their education. If you're enjoying today's video, please make sure you like and subscribe because then you won't miss any of our future DET videos. We have loads of vocabulary videos and speak with me videos and other cool practice videos coming out every week. So if you can use some of those words, just 1 or 2, if you get a question about education, you'll be in a much better situation. The next very common topic is work. So let's take a look at this read then speak question. So this one says, talk about your dream job. So pretty simple. Of course it must be work. Why do you want to do it? How long has that been your dream job? What steps do you need to get this job? And do you think you'll achieve your goal? Now, of course, it's really important to include individual high-level words in your answer. But that's not the only way of showing good vocabulary in English. And in fact, there's something I think even more useful, and that is collocations. So collocations are when you have several words that usually go together, like a little chunk of English. And what we've done is prepare a little quiz for you, a little bit of interaction. So we have got 6 collocations that are related to work. These are really high level, very nice little expressions, but we've chopped them up and then we've mixed them up like a salad. So I'm going to give you 30 seconds and I want you to match the left side with the right side to make these really good work collocations. Okay? So match them now. Okay, so welcome back. So let's take a look through and we'll quickly look at what the answer was and what this means. So the number one, the first one is diverse skill set. So skill set is the skills that you have, and diverse means you've got lots of different types of skills. 2 is challenging workload. Workload is the different pieces of work that you have to do, and challenging means difficult. So there's a lot of work that you have to do. 3 is specialist knowledge. Knowledge, the things you know, and specialist means that you know a lot about this particular area. 4 is supportive workplace. So workplace, like your company, and supportive is the company treats you well. Like if you're sick, they will pay for you to be off work until you get better. Then 5 is outstanding performance. Performance, how well you do your job. Outstanding, really, really good. And finally, constructive feedback. So feedback is telling you, did you do a good job or was your job not very well done? And constructive means that if it's negative, and we think constructive usually means negative, it's not negative like, you are terrible and you're so stupid and get out. It's not like that. That's not constructive feedback. Constructive means it's telling you you didn't do something very well, but also here is how you can make it better. So the idea is it can help you grow as a person in your job. So it constructs better workers. And we've got a couple of example sentences for these collocations. Let's look at the first one. So the first one says, I know that teaching requires a diverse skill set, which really suits my background. So you have to be good at different things if you want to be a teacher. And then, giving constructive feedback is something I really enjoy, so I think I'd be pretty good at managing a team. The third very common topic is leisure, so fun, relaxing, the things that you like to do. Now, one listen then speak question that I saw a lot, and listen then speak is not part of the DET anymore, but we're going to look at this question, and this could also be very easily a read then speak question. Let's take a look at it now. So it says, talk about a free time activity you really enjoy. What makes this activity so special for you, and how does it benefit you? So something you like doing in your free time, and like, why is that a good thing for you? So we've got some great adjectives now, 6 really good adjectives for when you're talking about like leisure and the things that you enjoy doing, your fun free time. So first of all, we have absorbed. If you are absorbed in something, it means you're really focused and interested in that thing. The second one is fulfilled. So you get a lot of satisfaction from doing this activity. And then we have energized. So that means the activity, your fun thing, gives you energy. It doesn't make you tired. Actually, it makes you less tired. Then we have soothed. And that's to like make you feel calm and relaxed. And if you've got some kind of worries or stress, it helps to get rid of that. And then we have nostalgic. That makes you remember something nice from your past. And it's like a little bit sad because that time has gone, but also it's nice to remember that time. And then finally, competitive. And that means like you want to win. So I like to do competitive things like playing football in my free time because I like to win. Now, if you're preparing for the DET right now and you want to make sure you get the best score possible the first time you take the test, we have a complete DET preparation course. Hundreds of students have taken it. We've had students get like 130, 140, even 150. So if that sounds good to you and you want to be as prepared as possible, check the link to our course under the video. The fourth common topic is relationships. And we're going to take a look at a speak about the photo question. And in particular, speak about the photo questions will often need you to talk about relationships. Not just relationships, but speak about the photo usually shows some people. So it might be like a couple walking along, or as in this one, it looks like it's a dad and two of his kids. So we can very easily fill some of the time by speculating, that's like making a guess, about what the relationship could be between the people in the photo. For example, we've got some different sentences here. We could say, it appears to be a father with his two young daughters. So it appears to be, we're not sure, but this is a good guess. Or we could say, the fact that he's carrying them suggests that they're close family members. And if he's not their father, he must be like their uncle or someone. And finally, the girls must be twins because they look very similar. I think you can be a little bit careful with the must be. Only if you're really sure you could say must be. It's still a type of guessing, but it's like guessing if you're like, yes, of course, I'm 100% sure that this thing is true. The fifth common topic in DET is places. Now, this could be like visiting a different country or a different city, or it could be something like more personal to you, like a restaurant that you like to go to, or a park you like, somewhere else that makes you feel relaxed, or that maybe you've enjoyed visiting once. And we have another read then speak to talk about places. So this read then speak question says, talk about a beautiful part of your country. So it's a place in your country that's beautiful. And where is it located? What makes it so beautiful? Is it popular with tourists? And have you ever been there? Now, a really good tip, not just for read then speak or even just for speaking questions. Actually, this is for English in general, for your writing in particular. A really good tip is to change normal feeling adjectives like happy or sad for much stronger adjectives like delighted or devastated or depressed, because that's the way that we really speak in normal daily English. So if you can change those simple kind of normal feeling adjectives into something that feels stronger, your English will immediately sound a lot more natural. For example, if I was saying, like somebody said to me, how did you feel after you won the game? And I wouldn't say, I was very happy. I'd say something like, I was over the moon, I was delighted, it was wonderful, things like that. So we've got another little exercise for you. And again, I'm going to give you 30 seconds on the clock. We've got 3 sentences and each one has an adjective that is okay, it's not wrong, but we can change it for something that's a stronger feeling. So have a try at replacing those okay adjectives with something that has a stronger feeling, but it's the same feeling, okay? So you're not like saying, first I was happy and now I'm sad. You're keeping the same feeling, but using a stronger adjective. 30 seconds, have a try now. Okay, so let's take a look at some possible answers. So the first one, instead of lovely views, we could say it's known for its stunning views or gorgeous views or magnificent views. Then the second one, so instead of the waterfall is loud, we could say the sound of the waterfall is deafening or thunderous or booming. And then instead of the architecture is popular, we could say it's world famous or widely loved or universally adored. Then the final one of our 6 common topics, number 6, is learning English. So this is part of education, and this is why I said before, education is quite wide, because we've made this number 6 because it's quite common just by itself. So it's really worth learning some vocabulary around education in general and about learning English in particular. So let's take a look at another one of those old listen then speak questions, and this will give us an idea. So this one says, talk about a time you felt confident using English. What was the situation and how did English make things easier? So we've got 5 words that are related to English, like learning English and learning language in particular. So we have lexis, which is words and phrases, also like vocabulary. Lexis is the high-level way of saying that. We have syntax, and that's the way that words and phrases are organized. So the way that we put them into the correct order so that words sound correct coming together. We also have intonation. That's how your voice goes up and down and up and down, up and down. That's intonation. We have accuracy. So are you like making lots of mistakes, or is your grammar and also your pronunciation, is it the way that a native speaker would say things? And then finally we have delivery. So that's like everything about the way that you speak. So how you speak English. So let's see a couple of sample sentences so we can get the idea of how we might use these words in an answer. So we could say, my teacher had taught me how to vary my intonation, and I felt I sounded quite natural. Okay, so varying, like going up and down in the right places. And then I realized I knew a lot of appropriate lexis, which was really motivating. So I knew a lot of suitable words for that situation. So there we go. Those are our 6 most common topics that could come in the DET speaking questions. So I hope this has been useful for you. And I really suggest that the next video that you watch is a deep dive. It's a great video that we have about education vocabulary. So we looked at a few words before, but we've got a full video all about really high-level words about education. So if you want to be totally prepared for any of those education questions that come, check out the video up here, or it's here under the in the video description down here as well. I'm Francis from Last Minute English. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.